Hey future and fellow OTs, welcome back to my channel. So today's video marks, well, in 3 days will mark 2 months since I've started my first job as an occupational therapist. So today's video is about the things that I've learned or realized or come to know, which is what realized means. So I'm working in a predominantly pediatric clinic. However, I do have a mixed caseload where I do see adults and young adults. So I'm kind of seeing everyone, but predominantly working with children. So today's video is about some of the things that I've learned or realized over the past 2 months, my first 2 months as an occupational therapist. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, and if you end up liking this video, give it a like and comment down below any questions or videos you'd like to see. Alright, let's get started. So something else that I've come to realize is a big part of my role as a pediatric OT is being there to support the whole family unit, including spending time talking and checking in with parents, grandparents, siblings, carers, and some of your time might just be spent giving emotional support to these people who might have really stressful lives and have a lot of commitments and priorities going on all at once. And for us, it's being able to listen empathetically, support and acknowledge their strengths and the efforts that they go to support their children or their siblings or their grandchildren. Some families we work with might be single parent families, or there might just be tough family dynamics where the person who takes them to therapy really might not have anyone else at home to talk to about what's going on and really debrief. So sometimes I might have families come and see me when it's not the appointment and I just have some free time and they can just kind of vent and let it all out. There'll be tissues, the tears will be flowing. We are there to support them and give them a listening ear most of the time is all they need. And if we feel that they really need some additional support, then it's our chance to refer them to additional services, perhaps counseling or psychology services, because their mental health is also a concern of mine as we're caring for the whole family unit in a lot of ways. And the carers' mental health and the supports they have trickle on down to the emotional health and the support and care that the child can receive themselves. So I've learned to make a point every time a family comes to see me to always check in with the carer and the family, you know, see how's everything going, how's your day been. I make it a point to look them in the eye and say, how's your day going? As we come through the door, it might just be, how's your day going? How was school? More to the child, and then I look more directly at the parent or the carer or whoever's bringing the child to therapy. It might be the support worker. How's your day going? And kind of pause and show that I actually want to know the answer. It's not this kind of pass-by question, you know, how are you? I genuinely want to know how you're going, and that can be a prompt for some people to stop and go, you know what, no, I really need to talk about what's going on. I really need to just let this out, otherwise it's going to build up too much. So I've really learnt the importance of us as clinicians checking in with our parents and the caregivers that are bringing the kids to therapy. I've also learnt that sometimes our goals for therapy can be met quite quickly. With some kids, for some tasks, and in some situations, being very general here, that it might just take going through the task once or twice with explicit instructions and explaining the expectations for that activity, for the activity to really click for that child. Maybe to observe them doing it once or twice and identifying the performance breakdown and identifying it to them and supporting them to figure out what needs to be changed, guiding them through it once or twice. And then sometimes I've had kids learn to tie their shoelaces very quickly because they were just missing one step, or they just needed to watch a video of how it was done as there was just something missing. Now that's not the case for everyone, but I have been surprised that it has happened, that some children with some tasks sometimes just need explicit instructions or to watch it, as they must have just been missing one simple step, or they just weren't sure. Or even with toileting, the impact I've seen with some of my clients just being told, all right, let's get 5 pieces of toilet paper for wiping, because otherwise they might not have ever been given a certain number and they've always just been, I don't know how much, and just getting too much or getting too little. And so giving them a number that later on will become more flexible, but giving them a number to start with has reduced their anxiety around how much, I don't know how much. It's given them a concrete step to follow, and it's just helped them so much in their overall toileting. So that's really been a surprise to me, how some simple explicit instructions and explanations can benefit some situations and goals. Something else that I've found that's been important for me the past 2 months is getting into a routine as soon as possible. Getting into a routine quickly can help reduce how overwhelmed we feel within this new stressful environment that is our first job. Whether that's a routine at home, finding a morning routine that works for you, relaxing routine when you come home from work, even getting into just a little bit of a groove with for when you turn up to work. I think for me, it's going to my room, putting my bags down, getting out my lunch, filling up my water bottle, coming back, opening up my laptop, seeing what I have first, opening up my diary, putting away anything that has been left over, cleaning down the tables if I didn't get a chance to do it at the end of the day, the previous day, and then starting to figure out, okay, from here, what time do I have and what should I be prioritizing first? So even just having those small things like putting your lunch away, filling up your water bottle, coming back to your room, putting this away. It sounds boring and simple, but the monotony or the repetitive, familiar, this routine can just help you, or has helped me, feel more calm and settled when I get to work. Like for a child, for us, having a good start to the day can really set you up for having a great day. Putting your best foot forward. Is that how you use that saying? Something else that has been really important for me the past 2 months has been having an OT community around me and for me to belong to. So the girls at the clinic that I work with, the girls I come home to are all OTs, but also making sure that I'm still keeping in touch with my other friends who are OTs, and there just seems to be a large OT community here in the town I'm living in, so that's a really big benefit. And keeping in contact through emails or phone calls or LinkedIn or Facebook with other clinicians and mentors that I have made connections with in the past that I want to maintain. Being able to come home to other OTs is quite a privilege because they know exactly what's happened during my day, or they'll understand when I talk about it if there's something difficult going on, that I can kind of vent in OT language and not have to kind of change it and explain the whole situation. It's quite a privilege to come home and feel quite understood, and just the benefit as, oh my gosh, I know you're waiting for me, I'm just busy, okay, I'll be with you shortly. Being able to, discuss and problem solve with like-minded people and like-minded clinicians has been really beneficial as a new grad, really figuring out where my place is and taking on new challenges and new clients and new goals. It's been really beneficial having an OT community around me, and I really think that's important for any new grad, especially if you're out rural or you're the sole clinician, making sure that you're attending OT interest groups, keeping in contact online via email, trying to find even other sole clinicians around you that you can have contact regularly with. I'm really understanding the importance of that. I cannot imagine myself right now as a rural clinician, a sole clinician. As a new grad, that would be just another extra level of difficulty. So I admire all of you that are doing it right now. So it's been really important and beneficial for me to have OTs around me and to be really reaching out and asking for their advice and problem solving together. That's also leads me to my next point, the importance of supervision and mentoring, and how in private practice you might need to really advocate for it. When talking to other OTs who live in this house, they've found that it's been really important for them to really advocate for themselves, to have supervision built into their timetables, and really ask for advice and guidance and mentorship, as that was really important for us as new grads to make sure we're on the right track, to check in with how we're going and ask for maybe additional support, or just keep our supervisors informed of our progress, very similar to placement. It's also been quite interesting to find out, like, on the job, and it's different between every workplace and every setting, how much we can double up and overlap with different professions, such as the work a psychologist might be doing with one of my clients, or the work or what a speaker could do on social skills and understanding emotions. And because we're not necessarily taught at uni the different areas that each of the professions could cover, sometimes it's mentioned more like physios might do the lower limb, or we might do the upper limb and things like that. But I really never knew that speechies can work on social skills and understanding emotions. I just assumed that psychologists and OTs can work on that. So that's been really interesting, learning that as I go, where speechies have been like, oh no, we'll do that. That's our area. And I'm like, oh okay, I guess if you weren't here, we would do that then. So it's just been interesting, and also the importance of making sure when a client is seeing multiple clinicians that you're being consistent, and when you can, having MDT meetings or contacting other clinicians for handover information, so that if you're working towards the same goal, you're not using different terminology or teaching them two different things, which could just be confusing the child or the adult so much. So making sure you're on the right track, and I hopefully will have some MDT meetings coming up where I'm working with a client that another speechie at the clinic's working with, so we can really coordinate our goals and use the strategies that we're implementing in our individual sessions in both sessions to ensure consistency. So I might be giving the speechie some self-regulation or emotional regulation strategies that we're working on, and she might be giving me strategies on what I should be expecting, how I should be expecting them to communicate, if I should really be encouraging them to use full sentences when asking for things, or to be using their POD book more, or whatever their goals might be, making sure we're being consistent between sessions and our goals. Okay, so something that I've learned my past few months as being a new grad OT is how much on-the-job learning we actually do, and how much of the work that I'm actually doing with my clients and their families that I'm learning almost as I go, in that we don't specifically learn these are little things, that these are different types of activities or fun creative ways you could work on emotional regulation or self-regulation or handwriting. We really learn at university the models and the way of thinking, information gathering, bits and pieces about different conditions that we might see, how to use different assessments. Really, it teaches you how to think and work like an OT. And then once you get into your placements and prac experiences and then your jobs, that's when you learn the field specific or the specialty specific activities and methods of therapy that you really use day to day. But what's guiding you is the way you think as an OT, the models, the frameworks. You learn about the therapeutic use of self, rapport building. It's really all these theories and frameworks and strategies that you learn at university that then allow you to do your research and pick and create activities and goals and session plans that are really purposeful and working towards your client's goals, as well as how to create and what are appropriate goals. SMART goals is what we used a lot at university. But the actual activities I'm using to work towards each of my goals with my kids or the adults I work with is what I'm developing now. I'm building up my therapy toolbox or resource kit kind of in the different activities I pull from or ways that I can work towards these goals. So those things I'm more learning on the job and from others and doing my own research and session planning each week. But what's driving me and driving my knowledge and choosing of these activities is the theory and models and frameworks and all these strategies that we learned at uni. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. My socials are down below. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone. Why do I do this? I don't know.